Hello, everybody, and welcome to our review of Vic Mensa's Hooligans album. My name is HSR.
My name is Chris Chrome.
And tonight we'll be going through Vic Mensa's Hooligans album. We gotta say it a lot because Google likes it if you say the keyword. Like, our keyword today is Vic Mensa's Hooligans album. So if we say it a whole lot in the intro, it helps us rank higher. And you'll notice that the guys who rank on top will like fucking plug their keyword, which again is Vic Mensa's Hooligans. Okay, I'll fucking stop.
God.
And they do it a lot. But for real, it sounds kind of stupid, but you'll see how they do it. If you watch for it, you'll notice that top ranking people will often do it a lot. It's these days because Google is really into voice recognition and is basically scanning this, and the earlier you plug it a lot, it kind of creates a density to it, and then it allows the robot to have an easier time understanding what the video is about. I digress. You know what it's about now. To let you know, we go through the album track by track. We share our thoughts, our experiences, and we don't necessarily know who all the artists are that we talk about ahead of time. Like in this case, I'm not that familiar with Vic Mensa. And I bring this up because if you're new here, we're just letting you know that this is our thoughts, our opinions. We listen to it, we share it, we have a conversation. We encourage you to leave some comments down below. You can tell us about your experiences with this album, where you first heard it, what was going on, what your first impressions were, and you can kind of let us know what is the good old stuff to check out, whether you're a fan, what do you dislike, just because that's what I love about this is the music community, to have that conversation. Anyway, before we jump on into it, we want to give a special thanks to the patrons Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, Super Old School 1994, and Lindell Williams. We'll touch a bit about that on the end. And why don't we plug that keyword one more time, Mr. Christopher? Let's start this review. Let's do it.
For this week's Headspace album, episode 106, we went with Vic Mensa's Hooligans.
Yeah, that's what's going on. So, basically, I don't know Vic Mensa as a rapper in regards to his music, but I do watch a lot of those like newsy shows. So like the Joe Buddens, Blackie Speaks is another one I watch. Also, let me know which ones you watch. I don't know, CDTV Productions comes
Breakfast
up.
Club.
I don't watch the Breakfast Club a lot, to be honest.
I do.
But either way, I feel like Vic Mensa is like a trending topic for his antics as a person, a lot more than I feel like he's a trending topic for the quality of his music. And so I feel like his name gets brought up a lot. Like recently I saw a video that was like, Vic Mensa's making emo music. Look, he's jacking other guys' styles and stuff. And it was one of the songs on this album, which is whatever. I don't know anything about his past career. I don't know the significance of it. But I was like, you know what? I would like to listen to Vic Mensa and make like kind of a decision about what I think about the dude, because evidently he's going to be somebody that people talk about, and I find it kind of practical to just have something to say about people are going to talk about, But a good decision. Like, let's go through the album. That was my mentality going into this.
Well, we'll see if he's going to be coming back in the news. I mean, he had his little run with certain things, and he kind of died a little bit. Like, he kind of...
I don't know. He just put out an album.
I know he just put out an album. But I was saying, like, in terms of, because I've never heard of Vic Mensa's anything that he makes music wise. I know he's a rapper because I've watched a lot of the newsy type shows as well, and so I know who he is as like the person he is. I know his icon or whatever. But the last type of news I really heard was that big thing with like naming Triple X in a cipher or whatnot. Like, that was, like, the last conversation I kind of heard about.
See what I mean? Antics. That's what I know about him. I don't really know about his music, so that's why we're here. That cover is pretty standout, though, because he looks kind of like contacts in his eyes, just kind of looks like a tough hooligan type. And then I love the fact that it's kind of got the track list and shit right on the front cover with that, like, almost like an old school vinyl kind of feel to it. Mm-hmm. I thought that was pretty cool. But otherwise, I feel like looking at him on this cover makes me kind of want to see what kind of a hooligan he is. But that's about as deep as it went for me. It was a little bit engaging. It's a cool cover. It's one that, like, as a thumbnail stands out. And I think it really does its job well. However, it's really not a cover that does a lot for me, but I think it's a well-designed cover. Anyway, I don't know if you have anything to comment on that.
I like how he kind of... I like how he blocks out his eyes to kind of take away his, like, personality in a way. Because this, if you didn't know this was Vic Mensa, this could be anybody. In a way, like okay. Just take it as like a regular, just a male model or something. This could just be a portrait of just a regular tatted up hooligan in a way. So I kind of like that on how he kind of just like took out his eyes and just made it there. So that was really cool. I do like the tattoos. They're pretty kind of standoutish a little bit. They're pretty interesting. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I did enjoy the track list on the front. That was cool as well. Not
All right.
too much more.
Let's get to dancing in the streets. All right, Chris, how do you feel about this one?
I like this track. I like the energy that he brings to this track. Right off the bat, I do like the beat. I like the drums in it. I like the kind of build up that it has, kind of having this again, this anthem feel to it. Dancing in the streets. Just the title kind of makes me I like how he kind of used the play on words of like dancing in the streets and kind of coming off the title of Hooligans. It's like maybe they're fighting, maybe there's some violence going on. He's trying to alluding to certain things. I like in verse 1, he starts off, he's like, inside the schizophrenic mind, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Fly, if the law don't kill me first, the doors commit suicide. That line kind of stood out with me. I like how he's addressing, like, if I'm not mistaken, Dr. Jekyll was the crazy one out of the two, or was it Hyde? So Jekyll was the smarter one. And then I like how he kind of contrasts it with Mr. Flies in terms of like money and fame and kind of like this personality of just this higher elite status in a sense. So that was really cool to me. I like how he addresses the law. I'm like lately a lot of like things that have been happening with in the news. A lot of there's been cop situations going on, so he's kind of like addressing how if the law doesn't kill him for, I guess, the hooligan antics that he's doing or whatever other case could be, then I like how he kind of references it to the suicide doors in terms of the doors committing suicide, where like to have suicide doors, you have to have a lot of shit ton of fucking money first, and that only comes with fame, and maybe the fame is kind of like killing him inside as well and makes him, he's not really understanding that. So that was a cool line that stuck out to me. I like the chorus and the energy in the chorus was just really cool. I like that type of the way he strung the words together and kind of connected them was really awesome. What led me to think that he was kind of alluding to violence was the Ali Boumbaye line, where, am I mistaken, it has to do with the boxer. And in terms of like,
it's like the chant for like Ali, I think it is, or whatever. He knocked out the fucking dude in the Rumble in the Jungle thing. It was a fucking significant victory, and especially if you, because this song takes on an approach of just trying to be a famous person dealing with the antics of like police brutality and just the kind of systematic bullshit, right? Mm-hmm. So it's the idea of like this was a symbolic victory for the people. Like this black dude took a white boxer, I think it was Joe Frazier, got knocked out. Muhammad Ali, I think, did it, and basically it was like a significant victory, and it was like a symbolic representation. The world champion is now this black guy who knocked out the white dude, you know? Mm-hmm. And I don't mean to put it so base like that, but it's like a very powerful thing. So when you translate into that chorus, in the way he's kind of like, they're going to be dancing in the streets, Ali Boumbaye, we're going to be dancing in the streets, belly of the beast on some Ali Boumbaye. It's kind of like, yo, if we're going to be willing to fight, riot, and do what we got to do.
Exactly.
But I don't mean it like in a negative sense. It's more like, on the one hand, it's got this celebratory tone to it. Like, we're going to take back what's ours. We're going to do what's right. And it just kind of feels triumphant. But then it gets juxtaposed by the really dark kind of tone that comes on the verse where, yeah, he's going on the schizophrenic mind. So it's the anxiety almost of having all of these things out to get him, like the cops, the situation, just by existing, simultaneously trying to be like this famous person, paving lanes and doing what he's got to be doing with it. So it's exploring that contrast of what it's like to almost be like a successful black person is what I took from that. And I thought it was very powerful because then it, you know, transitions, you got the hook again into that outro from Jesse Rutherford, where it's like what happens when a caveman of madness and adds some gravity onto his soul, trapped inside a maze you can't imagine. Wonder if it's all worth living for. I gotta break out, etc. And I feel like that's an interesting way to maybe take the position that Vic Mensa was previously describing and kind of really condense it into like a bite-sized outro where it's like you're just kind of left to think on it. Like, look, you end up feeling like Vic Mensa when you create the circumstances described by Jesse. And I thought it was so powerful, right? Because it almost kind of feels a little bit of like that vibe from like Can't Hold Us of Macklemore, where you want to just like be up there and like bouncing and shit, but then it just drops some really powerful stuff. And like, listen, I've never listened to Vic Mensa before. I didn't even really know what kind of rapper he was. And then I heard this and I was like, wow, this blew my fucking mind. It was well written. The beat is very interesting. The subject matter is really well handled. I thought it was really well written. It wasn't just like cool lines. It was like expressing a very powerful point about what it feels like to be in these circumstances. And like, I can imagine how a lot of people could relate to it. And so I gave this a 4.5. I thought it was well done.
Part of me feels like there might be another side to it as well, where he might kind of be struggling in terms of wanting to go back to maybe what he used to do, because part of the verse, he goes like, whipping a Maserati on Hollywood speeding, dodging my demons, TMZ and the paparazzi tweaking, dying to see him. And it's like, you know, they're trying to always get the information out of him, trying to see if he's slipping or whatnot, or if he's doing anything negative. And then kind of later on, he goes, switch lanes on him. Let me not get sidetracked. Slide back to the block where the guy's at. Rob you for your Jordans and your soul get hijacked. The same block where shot dice and died at and mothers cried at. That's where we ride at. And I feel like for him, it's like, yeah, he's dealing with the fame and he's in Hollywood and all that. But in his mind, he's still kind of maybe like trapped in like his old ways, or his old, like he's got like this want to maybe go back to his area and kind of still do that, because that's where he kind of grew up and that's where everything like, made him in a way. So that's kind of how I feel. I understood the song, so that was also cool. I do like the outro, and I do agree with you. You kind of get a better sense of how Vic Mensa's feeling with the outro, performed by Jesse Rutherford. Rutherford.
Okay, move on.
I do, and like you get that sense where you can really kind of feel the craziness in Vic Mensa's brain, where he's trying to like he doesn't want to kind of feel crazy anymore. He doesn't really know how to handle what he knows and like what he was growing up with, and then what he knows now in terms of circumstances changing. So I thought that was really interesting.
I feel like but it's more of like a charged, like almost, like I don't know that this is like I'm struggling with this shit. I think he's saying I know how I feel, and I just want to make it clear that I'm not just some hooligan. Like I think he's trying to take the concept of a hooligan and paint the picture for you in a deeper way. Like this feels more like charged. Like, I mean, yeah, to a degree, it's like a little bit of explaining his point of view and all of that. But I don't know that I'm feeling like I feel like this is a guy with a lot of conviction who is very like certain of who he is and what he's doing. And this is anyway, it's all good. Come let us know what you think in the comments and weigh in on that, especially those of you who know him, and like instead of us just talking shit. Anyway,
just to give my grade, I did give a 4.2 on 5.
Fair enough. There are some dark things out there on the internet.
Flatline, if I let the brains blow, that's a landmine. I need you to.
I'm not gonna lie. This is totally not my favorite style of rap. How about you go first?
I like it. I like that trappy vibe to it. I like that the drum loop in the background. That was really cool. The beat's got this bumpy type of feel to it as well. So I really enjoyed it. The auto-tune singing was okay. I felt like it was nice. It was done well. It wasn't like choppy or nothing like that. So it wasn't my favorite thing, but it was good. I like how he mentions he's trying to fuck the pain away, how he's trying to find some type of release to deal with all of the negativity and the bad energy that he's feeling. He's just trying to find some type of happiness. So that was cool. I like the flow on this. I like how he kind of jumps around on it, and he kind of sings songies, but also throws in a little rapidy rap there. So that was pretty cool. A line that really stuck out to me was, I need you to love me like I never loved me. Everyone around me wants something from me. Pretty girls want the truth, but the truth is ugly. She don't even like me. She just want to fuck me. And it's like, when he said that, I felt that pain. I felt like the wanting to feel love and appreciated and that affection, but just knowing that you're kind of just like a trophy, especially if you're like famous or you're a rapper or you're making X amount of money or whatnot, you're a celebrity. It's like there's like this kind of, I like to believe that maybe there's this kind of like, do you like me for me, or do you like me as in myself, like as Chris Chrome? Like, which one do you like more? And is it type mentality? Like, I feel like that's what he's kind of struggling with. Do you like me myself, or do you like Vic Mensa the celebrity? Is kind of what I'm getting.
I don't think he's struggling. He just doesn't. There's no struggle here. Struggling would be like he's not certain. He's very certain. This girl doesn't like him. He is very aware of the truth. He's a trophy. We're all right about that. I think he's describing how his life is like. To me, like, it feels like he's painting his portrait, right? Mm-hmm. So like that whole verse is just escapist behavior. He's lonely. He wants like real connections with people. Instead, he has this, but at the end of the day, he still also really wants drugs and random pussy. So,
but I feel like he's using that to cope with all the pain that he's dealing with.
But I also feel like he wants that life.
Okay.
Like, at any time during the fast lane, and this ties into the last song where maybe he feels compelled to chase this because of where he comes from. But in theory, he could just sober up and stop fucking hoes, right?
Yeah.
Like, in theory, that's an option. So he's addicted to the life, and then describing the consequences of what comes with the life, and trying to like paint it in this like realistic perception. And that's kind of what I like about it. It feels so like fact driven, right? Like, is this the one where he's like, I like fucking said I wouldn't get high, but then I got high and fucked you anyway, or whatever?
No, I think that's another song. But on this song, you're kind of explaining like he it sounds like he enjoys he's like enjoying that life, right?
Yeah, because like this is a lifestyle choice. When you're in that fast lane, this is what happens. You go after these things, and there's lots of pros,
right?
And so, but he has that, and in this kind of a sense, he's now describing the consequences of this life, where you probably, as a successful rapper known for banging girls and doing drugs, are gonna have a bunch of girls who want to fuck you to get something out of you.
But I just want to address something that he starts mentioning in the second verse. Vic Mensa wants to join the 27 Club, where you die at 27 and you're famous for it and all this stuff, right? So I feel
because
like
of a lot of drugs, it's overdosing.
Right. So part of me is like, okay, I could see how he's looking for that connection and affection. He's, I guess, choosing to indulge in the life of drugs and all this stuff.
Like the problem with your theory is you're making assumptions about why he does stuff.
Well, I'm trying to say, like, it sounds like he's chasing death with that line, like with the 20, like wanting to join the 27
It just sounds
club.
like he's aware of the risk of it, and this is what happens to people who pursue the lifestyle he's doing. I also think guys like MGK and shit glorify it to be cool because it's like a cool thing. That's what I think. I think that's one of the cheesiest.
What is the cool thing, like doing drugs or
dying at 27, a musical prodigy over a drug overdose? Like it's pretty. To me, it's very lame to try to be cool with that, but that is what it feels like he's doing. On the other hand, this sounds like kind of MGK's binge in terms of mentality. Like, I'm going hard. I'm doing what I got to do. Mm-hmm. This is where I'm at. And again, what I didn't like about MGK is how MGK glorified it in some fake ass way where it sounded like whatever. Whereas Mr. Mensa here is actually laying it down in a super realistic way where I feel like he's just kind of spitting his reality in no bullshit. Like, here's part of what I do, who I am.
Right.
But it doesn't sound like a guy who's confused or conflicted. I agree that maybe he is, in a sense, chasing death with his lifestyle. But I think the part where I struggle with your assessment is that, like, he's choosing to do this. This is the life he wanted.
I agree with that. It does. You do get that sense of like you can
or
just
at least
sober up.
Like the partying part. And I don't, like, you're assuming that this, like, yes, escapist behavior because there's pain and he's conflicted and he's dealing with shit. I agree. But like, I'm just like, I don't know. I just feel like your approach was a little bit in the sense that, like, he's unhappy with it all. I don't know that he's unhappy with everything. It sounds like he's doing pretty fucking well, but there are problems, and he's dealing with those problems. I feel like he's a guy who's on a path to a pretty good place, when I listen to this at least. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, I didn't really research his mental state that much before going into this. But I do like the fact that this is showing his struggle. Anyway, I like that part of it. But I felt like, as far as the overall sound of this song, it is kind of a little bit auto-tuney. It's a little bit on the generic side, but it's such a catchy flow, and it's a good melody. It's something that you can throw on and just kind of vibe to. This isn't necessarily the kind of song that I would listen to for the lyrics of it, But I wanted to give a lot of credit to the Feel Like Amy Wine Again. This is Absinthe, not Heineken. Just, it's a pretty good line considering we're tying into the 27 Club. Amy Winehouse died. He's feeling in this kind of whack push it state, right? And maybe it is like because his mental state's out of whack. Maybe it really is. I don't know. But I do think that was the quality of his writing is pretty good. And I really enjoyed that. So 4.25. I would give it higher, but it's not my style that I would like to listen to. But I'm pretty impressed for it considering it's not really my style that I'd like to listen to.
I give it a 4.3 because I do enjoy the flow. I like the auto-tune mix-up with it. I like the vibe to it. And I do agree. I think that this is more of a song for me where I'm going to just like kind of put it on and vibe to instead of really listen to the lyrics. But I can also kind of get with the lyrics as well. So
that's 4.3. Fair. So maybe after this whole conversation, some people's looking at us and being like, those boys is in some trouble. I'm a business, baby, let's go public. I'm a fuck around. Chris just made a very astute observation off camera. That verse really sounds a lot like the Ignition remix flow from R. Kelly. Like the it's the remix to Ignition, hot and fresh out the kitchen. Mama rolling that body, got every man in, you know what I'm saying? Like rhythmically and shit, kind of feels a bit like that. Good call, Chris.
It does have that kind of, I guess, like R&B feel to it. It's about, I feel like this song's about Vic Mensa's kind of telling this girl like how much he like appreciates her.
Yep.
And how like the affection he has for her, but like
he wants to fuck.
That's gonna get him in trouble though. And I feel like there's a part in like I think it's like verse 2 where he kind of mentions that this girl's got a man and she's kind of like playing the behind the man's back and all this stuff. But Vic Mensa's kind of acknowledging like as you are doing this, like I want to make sure kind of like you're not. Like, I ain't going to get fucked around with this. Like, I don't want no drama. I don't want no beef. I don't want no nothing. But I also kind of take away.
Hold on. Not only does he say that, he says, smoking that kush on the radar, looking like Princess Leia, lick my lightsaber. I'm sorry. Did he just call his dick a lightsaber?
Maybe he's got a glow in the...
Vic Mensa, props. Look.
He's got a glow-in-the-dark condom.
I mean, as far as dick lines go... I don't think there's a lot of originality left out there, but this is my first time I ever heard a lick my lightsaber line, so I wanted to give him kudos on that. But I feel like you're right. Like he's kind of approaching the fact that this chick wants to smash, and it's not a good idea, but she's really coming at it, and he's like, well, if you're going to come at me like that, I guess you got to know the OPP mentality that we fucking with. However, this shit is generic as fuck to me. I don't mean that in like a negative way. I mean, this could be any random song featuring Dolla $ein on the hook that is about a girl that is somewhat illicit and not an honest or it could even be like one of the ones where it is about love and shit. But they all kind of, to me, is like R&B auto-tuny stuff featuring Dolla $ein. I just love his name because of the way it kind of... Anyway, you guys get the joke, hopefully. But like, it's just so... on the other hand, I'm certain that this is like a lady jam, so his goal here is not to target like me. Yeah, and it's really safe. And what I learned through making a playlist for a work party that fell apart is that a lot of parents like a lot of stuff like this because their teenage kids like it, and then their kids add it to the Spotify playlist that they listen to in their car. And parents are active contributors to shit like Bad Bobby, and not to include Vic Mensa in that conversation, but just a surprising number of people. You wouldn't expect parents who don't like rap to be listening to these days just because the beat's good and the flow's nice. So what he's doing here on this song is the beat's good and the flow's nice.
Well, it's also safe. Like there's not really any...
I know,
like,
it's almost
he's not
like...
killing anybody.
It's almost like it's mom music. That's what I'm trying to say about it. So when I hear it, I'm like, it's a pretty song. Listen, it's just not for me. It's well made, well produced. It does its job. It checks the list in all the good ways, and there's nothing inherently wrong about it because Vic Mensa is a pretty good writer. So he's not making like stupid choices in terms of saying dumbass shit. And as a result, I gave it a 4.
I gave it a 4 as well. I do. I like the softer tone to it. I like... Dolla $ign did well. He did the Dolla $ign thing. I do like the appreciation and the affection that he has for this woman. But I for me, like sometimes some of these songs, I'm just kind of like, if you don't want trouble and you know she's with somebody, why are you putting yourself in that position?
Well, I mean, if I understand correctly, he's not trying to put himself in this position. She is approaching him and seducing him, and he is having trouble resisting.
I mean, right. And
I mean, like, what if you were at a party and you had to be at this party because it's, let's say, an office party?
I get you. Listen.
Really hot girl.
Let's just be clear.
Comes up to you.
I literally just went through that situation.
I'm touching you up. I
just went through that entire situation.
And she starts whispering in your ears, "I'll suck your dick in the break room. Nobody has to know." Chris is apparently getting his dick sucked in the break room in the office party. That's what y'all just found out now.
No, that's not it. But the concept is,
my point is,
still have my own, like...
Whether or not you can resist that one time, maybe you'll come across a girl one day whose allure is so big that you have trouble resisting.
Again, I'm going to say it's based on circumstance. Currently, there is somebody in my life that I'm dealing with.
Sure,
so
but
I'm not going to like...
The point is that's also because you haven't met the other somebody that would get you in some trouble.
I'm just trying to be positive, man.
I think you're trying to be unrealistic instead of positive.
I can live in my own happy world, okay?
But it's not like that. I'm saying it's my whole point is, how can it happen? It's not a matter of, like, this is him saying, I don't know that this is a good idea because you're seducing me, and then, like, you know, and this is a dangerous thing that'll get me in some trouble. If anything, the whole song is an acknowledgement that maybe this isn't the best idea.
Fair enough.
But it's a realistic circumstance because sometimes you just meet a person and you're like, oh, you're unlike all the other ones, and then this girl is everything you wanted. It's like, you know, when you closed your eyes and you fantasy girled some person, and then the next day she's just there, and you're like, "Holy shit, I dreamed it up." And then all of a sudden she's in your face. You're all of a sudden your like will is not as strong.
I get your point.
It's like I have a friend, and I'm like, "Yeah, you're really strong." What if it was Japanese twins? And every time I say that, he shuts the fuck up. I'm just pointing out we all got weaknesses. Anyway. Let's get rowdy up in this bitch.
Ain't getting shit. Let me make an introduction, bitch. Your face can meet my fist. Fight me then.
So I was going to ask y'all on the internet what was up with fuck the number after 11, but then I learned because of the genius community on another song, thank you annotators, y'all are beautiful people, that it's the police that are 12 because of some cop show again, because it's always some fucking cop media piece.
I've known that.
And I didn't know that's a 12 man. So 5-0 and 12 is cops, and oh man. Anyway, mind blown. Thank you, genius community. This is different, and I like how he has so many different sounds on this project. I want to throw that in here because I wasn't feeling the last couple of songs in terms of a certain vibe, and then all of a sudden we're hit with this next song, which again isn't fully my like favorite vibe, but I can appreciate the change up, and I like this more than the last couple of tracks. I don't like it a lot more, but to me it feels like a basic A flow. To be fair, an A flow is da ba da ba ba da ba a ba ba da, and instead of A here he goes whoa a few times, and then he does fight me then. I mean, it's basically kind of ad-libby stuff, and it's not like breaking the bank, but his energy is fucking fun, man. This is the kind of mosh pit rap I fucking like in that regard. So let's say I'm in the right environment. It's like this, and then Stupid by Tekashi 69 and a few other ones. It's like,
everybody's getting mashed.
You know, it's kind of like that kind of vibe, like a hooligan shit. And I kind of really dig the energy he's putting it out. On the other hand, I can't say that, like, there's a whole lot in this song lyrically that really stuck out to me. It was just pretty much a fucking party banger.
He's flexing. They're both like, flexing.
But it's not really about the lyrics here. It's about that energy, because this is totally a song where I want to start doing shit like that. I'm getting all like fucking like, you know, I don't care how lame I look. It just makes me want to get up on that energy. And then Herbo has this fucking weird ass voice that just works for this thing. At first I was like, that's a jarring experience to hear Herbo. And then I was like, yeah, but it fucking works. And he comes in and does his thing. He sounds really fucking great. Thanks to I really enjoyed the part where he's like, buy a new whip, get a dent again, used to go to dinner, eat in. I was like, you want Wendy's again? And I was like, that's amazing. That is the kind of dinner that I would enjoy doing. Honestly, Wendy's is a good move. Like, I don't care if it's cheap sounding. They have the Baconator. They've got many moves. You can actually stack the number of patties that you have inside of your Wendy's. And it's pretty delicious. Now, I'm trying not to eat beef in life anymore because apparently it's shit for the environment. And I'm having this emotional inner turmoil over beef. So I'm dreaming about burgers now, but I can't buy them. due to my ethics, and I'm fucking killing myself now. But yeah, it's bad to eat beef because of like the fucking environment. On the other hand, Wendy's is fucking delicious, so I might cave and get some Wendy's soon. But I'm struggling. So back to like the review.
The song is really hype.
I gave it a 4.1 because like it's really hype, and it's like I'd rather have this really hype shit than like that lovey wavy shit that we were just on. And I really think this is a great fight music type song. And so yeah, 4.1.
I gave it a 4.3. This song is fucking banging. I just want to address the intro to this song is a perfect setup. Fuck you and fuck your mama, fuck your family, fuck everybody that care about you, fuck your whole life, goodbye. Hooligans, back to fuck up. Now, of course, when he says hooligans, there's like this really huge high energy, and he's like ready to fight. When he's like back to fuck up, he's ready to go, he's ready to fight. And I wanted to address that because first off, why the hell are people sending these damn voicemails like this to Vic Mensa?
That's true, eh? Because
Like,
that was the skit from the last song.
Yeah, it flows together. And it's just, and even on the last song, it's like, you kind of get this sense where, like, you know how we were talking about the girl has this man, right? Well, I kind of took it like the girl's boyfriend was contacting Vic Mensa, calling him like a bitch, calling him this and that, and then realizing who he is, and then he calls him back and he's like, hey, I'm trying to get signed, like, what can I do? Like, it kind of seems like people want things from Vic Mensa, and that's what he's getting at. And then it flows into go kill yourself. And I was just like, wow. And the sudden erratic change from like the girlfriend boyfriend beef to the like you deserve to die and all your family kind of builds up that rage you get into this song, and that's what I really, really enjoyed, and I wanted to highlight that.
It's pretty cool.
For me, I didn't really find that there was anything stand out-ish. I mean, the hook is get rowdy, get rowdy, get rowdy, fuck up the streets, run up, tweak, call up the police. The problem is me. Like, problem is me. I like how he's addressing, like the problem is him. Like, he's the one who's gonna start fighting and start causing violence, and there's this level of like someone needs to stop him. So that was pretty cool as well. Like stuff like in verse 1, Vic Mensa, we got like gang in this shit. Let me make an introduction, bitch. Yo, face can meet my fist. Like that was cool. How he goes like fight me then, and it's all like that was essentially like the song itself. Herbo kind of goes through the same thing as well. So it's really cool and really hype. I left it with a 4.3.
All right, let's go back in reverse to talking about G-Eazy. When you got G-Eazy and fucking Marshmello doing this shit, that just screams pop. It's pop music time. I want to point out something where G-Eazy just sounds like a fucking asshole in my opinion. And look, G-Eazy admits he's an asshole, so at least it's like not a secret or anything, but you're some kind of a dick if you're actually saying shit like, this velvet jacket's fragile, okay, be careful when you handle, please, when did you touch me, yeah, your hands look kind of dusty, please be careful when you touch me, in Paris, out of the country, eh? I'm like, I get it. His image is to be like the really rich, super fashionable, runway model, untouchable, dick, his life is a bunch of cocaine and fucking hoes and shit. Okay. Shrug. I'm just like, it just makes me think he's a fucking dick. That's all I had to say. Like, I mean, it's fine. That's the kind of song this is, though. It's like that kind of braggadocious thing. But like Vic Mensa takes a more like relatable route with it. Like DB11, it's a vert skirt, goes skirt, keep her panty dropping, riding shotgun like she Kurt. That's a fucking good line, right? Because Kurt Cobain and the shotgun, and then shotgun in the car. See, that's clever. That's really fucking fun. So Vic Mensa takes us on a good writing perspective. G-Eazy's like, I'm fucking rich and hot. Runways and runways and runways and runways. Fuck off, G-Eazy. But on the other hand, I really, really, really enjoyed Vic Mensa's part of this, because even he goes with the fashion, like in his Saint Laurent straight jacket, if I crash, I go berserk. So he's being like fly with it, but he's showing his crazy, his insanity side, and like making it like a little more slim shady on it. And I kind of really appreciated the whole like feel of that. Even the chorus is nice, man. Like Aston Martin, push button motor, Migos on the ice, anti-sober. Like that's a fucking cool nod like that.
I like how they actually sound like me. Like he sounds like Migos. Like when I first put on this track and I didn't like read anything at first, I was like, did he?
But like that's it. You're paying homage at that point. And then G-Eazy comes on and basically is like a buzzkill. and then the song ends. So I gave it a 4.1 because I thought it was really good up until G-Eazy. Sorry if you guys are big G-Eazy fans. I just find him kind of fucking lame. But Vic Mensa, he killed it, man. I was pretty impressed by his pop appeal. Like, I think what he's establishing here on this project is he's simultaneously that hard-ass rowdy motherfucker, but also family-friendly appropriate at the same time. And not a lot of dudes can put both on the same album and kind of make it work. But he's taken that, like, honest, this is my life approach to this project. I think he sells it really well.
I gave the song a 4.3 because it's just more my avenue of music. It's got this kind of like poppy vibe, but also this kind of like rapidy vibe to it. It's got this whole like we're in the club, you know, I'm with this girl, we're doing this. So I do enjoy it. I personally haven't really been listening to G-Eazy, so lately I know who he is and I've heard some songs from him. So it was kind of a little bit refreshing for myself to kind of have G-Eazy split a verse. So it was cool. It wasn't the best verse, but I did like how he floated. I did like his control with his verse.
He's talented. He's just an asshole.
Absolutely. And that's kind of what I'm staying by as well. But again, like just the song itself, the way like the chorus and the way they kind of just go about it and the energy through the song, like this is more something that I would listen to other than some other tracks so far. So I gave it a 4.3.
All right, let's talk about some fucking Klonopin, drug time.
And I'm robbing him, now we talking to the court like Johnny Cock.
Just got a detail on this song that explains why, while being another flowy auto-tuney one where I was given a lower mark on the album, I feel like I'm more drawn to this. Travis Barker produced this track. And Travis Barker has like the most perfect ear, I think, for like drum patterns and this type of thing. And I think it really stands out in this beat because there's something to this instrumental that really creates a wave where, frankly, I don't think Vic Mensa is necessarily being the most interesting person. I mean, cooling on the air with the squad in here. Fresco got the judge. We ain't squabbling on that bullshit like Dennis Rodman busting off of Adderall. I need me a Klonopin. Like, look, it's this kind of a song, and he does it extremely well. He flows really well. It's more about the melody and the flow, okay? That's what I understand of this style of music. Because, like, lyrically, whatever, it's fine. He raps literally all of them ships, all of the same kind of ideas that he has. He drops quasi-political some shit with, like, she made me cum laude, I made her cum louder. Whoops, that was a sex line. That's a overused sex line, by the way. That's not an original sex line. Either way, but never been average, been anti-establishment. I don't even wear them shits. I'll fuck them Nikes because of Kaepernick. No cap, got the team on the back like I'm throwing in a throwback. So, you know, I get the sense that he's not really into wearing name brands and shit like Nikes, but because Nike's cool, he'll buy them. He's not going to rock them. And he's really into like whatever. So there's a bit of politics, a bit of how he lives his life that gets sprinkled into it over this flowiness. But in general, I just kind of found that I was distracted by the beat and not that interested in. But like, I don't want to shit on these lyrics because he does have cool lines like 27 Club, Hall of Fame, a self-medicator. I know Chris thinks he's depressed, but he's kind of proud of his drug use because he might die at 27 apparently. I'm not trying to sound critical. It's just I'm 31 and it's like a weird lyric to me. I don't know why people think it's cool. Rollin' Swisher, like Onyx, I got sticky fingers. I'm like, hey, that's pretty fucking cool. Tom Petty, Heartbreaker, Free Fallin' Off the Cradle. I'm like, those are kind of clever and like very different things to be flowing in, you know? So I want to give him all his credit here. End of the day, you got another outro skit thing that's corporate. It's kind of been plugging out the last things. I wasn't that interested in it, but I love what Travis Barker did here. And I gave this a 4.25 because while it's not my favorite kind of song, it's really exceptional for what it is.
I really enjoyed the beat to this. I do agree that Travis Barker does have a really great ear for music, so I think that there's a way that the drum patterns on this song really kind of carry Vic Mensa through it as well. It kind of gives us, like, as he's talking about escaping the pain with Klonopin, you kind of get this, for me, I get this, like, destructing feeling with the beat, the way that the drums are coming in. It kind of sounds like there's...
It sounds like Painkiller music.
I've never listened to Painkiller music, so
like all of the lean auto-tune flowy music. That's all Painkiller music.
What you mean by that?
All of what you like. Well, not that.
No, I feel like there's actually like there's like I feel more like again I want to say destruction. Like I'm hearing like kind of like in certain parts of the song, he's like there's like build-ups and there's drops with the beat. It was just I really I don't know.
Yeah, that was Travis.
That's what I'm saying. I'm talking
No,
about
but
the
I mean,
beat right
I
now.
feel like it takes you on like you can feel him getting high and coasting on through and floating. Like you can just feel him going through like a night of drugs on this song.
Yeah. Overall though, I mean, it for me it was another kind of song where he was just explaining like how he's using prescription drugs to cope with whatever he's dealing with, and I did land it with just a 4. It's good, but it wasn't something that really kind of entertained me. I prefer the beat way more than the actual song itself.
Yeah, and the beat's so good and the flow's so good that it entertained me. Anyway, Chris is just the one that got away with no shoes.
My money got older, I grew up less, and I do confess I broke your heart like a
I feel like this shit caught me off guard a little bit, right? Because he's kind of describing, I believe, this girl that he was with, and then he kind of ended shit poorly because he was chasing his dreams and kind of ran off. That's like the short version. And then it like transitions into like this no shoes second part where it's almost like he's thinking back and being super like pensive and like missing her and whatnot. And it's almost like this Slash song, which I'm not a huge fan of Slash songs because they're often disjointed fucking weird experiences, but this works really well because it almost tells like this little complete narrative in the way that it shifts, and having the Charlie Wilson singing there and making it go. It's this is the Benzo song that you mentioned. So we were doing another podcast and Chris mentioned this one, this song. Anyway, I don't know. I thought it was like so standout because he comes in like rapping. Not like trapping. Like this is like some fucking old school rap style that he's kind of bringing.
Slam poetry type, like rappy, but like
I just
like more.
I mean, I just kind of felt like it was a backpacker styled, like rappy, like focused things. That's what I felt at least. And you know, it just kind of describes how like he was whatever, and then you know he's chasing pussy, and he's just kind of living out that life that he's been describing, and you just
hurt somebody.
Yeah, like this girl. I got the feeling he's had this girl that was special to him. You know, somebody that didn't keep it 100 like the Big Crits girl did, but somebody that like he hurt and broke her heart.
Yes, that's
and
the
he
song
recognized
I thought
it.
we were talking about.
And he was like smashing these chicks on the side and going on tour and being a rapper and whatnot. And then you know time passes on, but like that beat is just really fucking cool, and it has such an interesting like sound, and it doesn't sound like quite so modern as like the rest of the songs. It kind of sounds more on that ageless, timeless kind of feel they're going for. And like he raps so beautifully, and I'm like, man, this is like the 5th style that like he seems to have managed to drop on this little project, which I thought was really, really fucking cool. And then it just kind of flips into that other half, which is nice, calmer, singier, and it feels like completion to the song. And I thought this was one of the more standout ones, so I gave it a 4.5.
The way I kind of interpreted the song was that the first verse, Vic Mensa is kind of like apologizing and kind of admitting to a lot of the things he did in this relationship with this woman. He admits to, you know, chasing other pussy. He's admitting to trying, you know, not really being faithful or loyal and not being really there. And it was a pretty longer verse compared to the second verse, or at least the part 2 of the song. So that was like
well, it also
kind of more
goes
defining.
from like rapping to singing.
Right. But in the second verse, I kind of feel like the way Vic Mensa kind of created the song is like the second verse, he has like, I feel a little bit of not resentment, but like he's holding something on her. Because at one point he kind of mentions like he put her in the benzo, and now she's kind of mad at him for being off of benzo, which is a short for another benzofolifam or something like that, some type of like medicated, some prescription drug. And I feel like there's a type of conflict still that he's trying to address.
Well,
like,
I mean, I guess that he's upset that, you were okay with this part of the lifestyle, but you're not okay with that part of the lifestyle. And he's kind of like unhappy with the situation. And then maybe realized that, maybe we were just two completely different people.
Right.
I feel like there's like a bit of resentment, but I also feel like there's more of like a remorse that he has, and like he kind of is, I don't know, maybe you're right.
Well, because I was just saying, like, just the way like the song structure goes, like I feel like he's kind of like in a way like a little bit of a conversation, like he's starting off like explaining to her how much he's like, sorry and for this and for that and apologetic, and then like after he's let that all out, it's like, but this.
I love you and I'm stuck and I want you. That's kind of like how he ends it right after, because after he gets out his resentment, he's like, yeah, but I really need you. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Well, I did give it a 4 on 5. It was a good song.
It was better than that. Anyway, you don't deserve it, Chris.
House of cards, they've been praying on my death, not a threat, still alive and in the flesh. So
This song was fucking a cool way to end the project. It's like, I'm winning because I deserved it, because I put all the work in and I earned it, and I did this shit on purpose. Sounds like he's a guy who had a plan, who grinded his shit out, made mistakes along the way. Not everything was clear, but in his mind, he knew where he was going. He was destined from birth to get there. And because he put the fucking work in, he gets there. And I love that. It's just like, yo, I got grit. I got the ability to follow through on my dreams. I put the work in. I earned it. I did this shit on purpose. I know I'm fucking worth it. Even when I'm feeling worthless underneath the surface, I know that I deserve it. Now, if you're a creator or you're doing this art thing in any capacity, or even if you're an entrepreneur of any kind, or you're really doing some shit that is a little bit different than maybe going to the 9 to 5, you're likely going to reach a point where you wake up and you're like, what the fuck is going on? And you feel worthless because success comes slow and it's not the easiest shit. And then to get that kind of a mantra where it's like, yo, but like I've done all this shit. I actually deserve stuff. I earned this shit. It's on a plan, I feel like this is a banger and like an anthem for people on the grind who are feeling a little bit blue to be able to like pick themselves up again. And I really fucking love it. And I think it's one of the more standout tracks on the album for that purpose. Like I enjoyed listening to this. I mean, look how it ends, Ugly, he was sleeping in the vacant before I started writing on the gang shit. You know how fame just changes situations. Trying to live up to my reputation. All I gotta do is be amazing. Cooling with the gang celebration. Get the champagne because we deserve it. So, like, maybe the gang shit is to do with the reputation, how people perceived it, etc. But really, at the end of the day, he's just trying to elevate to a point of, like, a better situation in his life. Plus, that cool in the gang line, that's a fucking dope reference. And you can tell that he has a lot of love for, like, older classic music that he really appreciates. Either way, I thought this was a really cool way to end the album, all things considered, because we had some more negative tones, but to end on such a celebratory note, I feel like the problem with the 90s is that the 90s complained a lot, and then that's where the song ended. But here it's like he complained a lot, and then the album ends on an up. And from what I believe the world needs, that's the right way to approach serious shit. You lay it down, and then you go up a bit. And it also started on an upper note, like it's hard, and we're celebrating, and it feels terrible, but there was still some celebratory feel in the beginning and celebration at the end. I think that's a cool structure idea. So I'm giving this another 4.5. I really like this song.
Just to kind of extend the point of like the positivity and ending it on the positive note, I feel like he's also trying to reach out as well. If we look at this song and we go to chorus 1, it starts off in chorus 1, Vic Mensa, I put the work in, I earned it, I did this shit on purpose, I know I'm fucking worth it, even when I'm feeling worthless, under so on and so forth. Skip over to chorus 2 and it's different. You put the work in, you earned it, you did this shit on purpose, you know you fucking worth it, even when you're feeling worthless, and you get my point. I feel like in the second chorus, Vic Mensa is embodying his positive energy and his work, and he wants to help elevate other people as well as he's elevating himself. And I like that. I think that something that, from what I've heard, a lot of the antics and a lot of the things that have been going on around Vic Mensa with all the conflicts and stuff, it's nice to hear and see that from his own perspective, he's doing this for people. He believes that he's speaking for a certain group of people or whatnot, and I really like that type of humility that humanity that he's showing, that he wants to give back to the community. We have had a lot of negative tones that have happened on this project, but it again contrasts everything when you for me at least, when I kind of see that positive side where it's like, I've gone through negative shit, but this is what I'm trying to give back to make sure that like other people don't have to deal with what I did. I can make a difference. I can make a change. That was really cool. I did land this song with a 4.3. I really think it was a really great way to end the project. And just like even listening to the last 7 tracks, like Holden said, there's 5 different styles. There's 5 different, like, so much diversity, so much passion and energy coming from Vic Mensa that it's like, when he says that he deserves it, and there's a line in this song where he's like, you can look at everything I do and know that I deserve what I'm doing or deserve what I've got. It's like, you've proven it to me. I'm not even gonna lie now. Like you've proven it to me in terms of just the last couple of tracks. Like you have certain talents and different things that you can do. Maybe not messages.
And I believe like one of the things he says is like, yo, it really hurts when you drop a project and like it doesn't work. And then you have to bounce back from that. And that's something that happens in life. And I just love the grounded reality in what he does with it, you know?
Absolutely. Officially, I did give this song a 4.3. If you wanna.
Fair enough. I mean, if we want to wrap up then for the album, that's it. It's a little short. They call it an EP, but it's kind of a full-length album based off of any old conventional way of defining EP, which was I think like 20-25 minutes or of length. It had to do with that, not number of songs. So given that this is like 30 minutes, it's a full album. Either way,
like 15 or is that?
No. Like an EP is like 20-25 minutes or less or something like that. It had to do with like the size of the vinyls and like whatever, how much like space could be put on the project. Still, I really enjoyed this experience. Like as an introduction, it was like, you know what, Vic Mensa is a pretty versatile person, and I don't know that he's like my favorite rapper, but he's definitely somebody who like the next time he drops a project, I'm gonna be like, yo, let's review that, because I kind of want to hear what he has to say. Like in light of some of the antics, what I see here is a passionate young person who is like super committed to like change, and even if he doesn't understand how to maybe do it with his regular life, or he says the occasional thing that's rowdy, it seems like he's not into negativity so much as he's just kind of rowdy and wild, which is not the worst thing. And I was like, I think he did a really good job of like explaining that his hooligan shit isn't just necessarily the worst shit. It's just kind of a way to manifest his lifestyle. And I like his self-awareness, and I like that it doesn't come off like with just aimless glorification, and it's more of like a raw, gritty look at his situation. So I think it's a cool project that's totally worth checking out.
Well, for me, the project landed at a 4.2 on 5. I really enjoyed the project. I think that as a first introduction to Vic, like a real introduction to Vic Mensa's music, this was really good. Like it had, again, it had different energies and vibes throughout the entire album, the entire EP, that it makes me want to go back and listen again. It makes me want to still kind of sit down and spend a little bit more time picking apart certain things, because I feel like I also may not understand a lot of like maybe the slang or like the certain words that he's using, that Vic Mensa's using, or certain, I guess, contexts or situations that he's been through, that I still want to kind of go back and maybe learn and see like another perspective. And I think Vic Mensa's really good at that. So that's what I have to say about that.
Fair enough, but we also care what you have to say about that, so feel free to hit up them comments and tell us what you thought about the Vic Mensa project, when you first heard it, because I would love to hear what environment you like put it on. Were you on the bus? Were you like at work? Were you wake up in the morning, late? Anyway, if you don't want to tell us, you don't have to. Anything you want to share about our review, the project, anything. What's your favorite Vic Mensa album? Anyway, special thanks to the patrons, Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, Linda Williams, and Supersco 1994. They're awesome. They support us directly, and by supporting us, they participate in the request raffle, where once a month, one of the albums that we review comes directly from Patreon. So next week, you'll actually see a Patreon request from Linda Williams, and then next month, it'll be Ismail Gadamsi. I don't know, just keep going like that, and you can join them, and then once we get enough people, we'll have 2 a month that come from Patreon, and we'll just make sure it stays fair. Also, when you join it, the following month get your free request just added in, a whole extra one, and it could be any album that you want, whether it's like, you know, your favorite project of all time, or like literally your album. So whatever you want to see us do, we can make that happen. And then like on top of that, you get access to content early sometimes, like when we're on time with it. And then you also will have a Discord, so we can chat in like real time, and all sorts of fun shit that will be coming in the future. But most importantly, it'll look better in here, and we'll have a better product. And I don't know, you'll see some advancements to the setup very soon. Like you're not gonna have that purple shit there soon. Hell yeah. Anyway, thank y'all for watching. Fucking means the world. I dropped a project on Spotify and shit. If you want to check that out, it'd be fucking cool. And let me know in the comments what y'all think. And then if you want to hit the subscribe, it would be cool. If you hit the like, it would be cool. If you just, all the normal sellout shit. Thank you for watching. If you're still here, what's your favorite color? Peace.